Hey everyone. Okay, let's talk about those types of factorial designs here. So there's three different types. There's independent groups, repeated measures, and mixed factorial designs. So I'm on slide 9 where it says independent groups designs. We've talked about independent groups variables already, and those independent groups of variables are ones in which you have at least two levels, groups, or conditions to a factor, like the type of sports drink an athlete's going to drink. And like if you had two levels to it, then the levels would be the sports drink can either be Gatorade or it can be Powerade. Or if you wanted to add a third level or condition to it, you could add water as like a control. So an independent group factor, what we discussed, means that when a participant's in the study, they only receive one level of that factor. So if you're randomly assigned to the Gatorade group, then that's all you're going to have. You're not going to drink any other sports drink. You're just going to have the independent. You're just going to have the Gatorade, and that's it. So now, if you have an independent groups design, factorial design, what that means is because it's a factorial design, you have at least two factors. But if it's an independent groups design, that means that each of those factors is a between subjects factor or an independent groups factor, if you will. So every participant will only experience one condition of all of the factors you have in your study. So, for example, if you wanted to determine the impact or the difference between men and women on taking creatine, then you have two factors there. One factor is sex, biological sex. You're either a male or female. You can't be one and then the other. We've talked about all that before. And also, creatine in this case would be an independent groups factor because we would only have a creatine group and a non creatine group. And whatever someone was randomized to, that's all they would get. Or maybe we would have a dosage of creatine. Well, I don't even know what the dosage would be, but one level of dosage and then another level of dosage. So there'd be two levels of dosage of creatine, but people would only receive one of them for the study. So as long as all your factors are the between subjects or independent groups type, you have an independent groups design. So going to the next slide on repeated measures designs, what that means is every factor you have in your study is a repeated measures or within subjects type. So you'll recall that a within subjects variable is one where everybody in the study is going to experience each level of that factor. So, for example, if you did massage and stretching and how it impacted muscle soreness, if you had it repeated measures, what that would mean is you'd have two types of massage, maybe hot stone and Swedish. And then hot stone's not really a type of massage. Let's say it's deep tissue massage and Swedish. There you go. So what that would mean is everybody's going to receive each type of massage. Maybe for 2 weeks you do the deep tissue, and then you'd have all participants switch after 2 weeks to the other one, the Swedish massage. Stretching, that would make it a between within subjects factor. Stretching you could make within subjects. You could have two different types of stretching exercises that they do. And then you would have people do one variety of exercise of stretching for a duration, again, maybe 2 weeks, and then you would have them switch to a different stretching variety for the next 2 weeks of the study. And what you would do is you would expose all participants to every level of each of the factors you have in your study to see how muscle soreness, our dependent variable, would then be impacted. So that would make it a repeated measures design if all factors are within subjects. Finally, you have a mixed design where maybe you want to take one between subjects factor like sex, male versus female, and one within subjects factor like pre and post test time is a within subjects factor. So that would be something where you'd have a mixed design. So that would be a mixed factorial design. Like how do men and women respond differently to one and two self-defense courses? That would be an example of a mixed design. Men and women would be between, the self defense courses would be within.